There's a 7-second interaction that can shift the trajectory of your entire connection with a woman. In those 7 seconds, everything you are, your presence, your posture, your words, your silence, is judged not by her conscious mind, but by something deeper. I watched a man lose everything in those 7 seconds. He smiled. He was polite. He offered to buy coffee. On the surface, he did everything right. But underneath, something invisible broke. Her decision had already been made. She didn't walk away. She smiled. She stayed. She even laughed. But inside, he became invisible. And here's what no one tells you. She didn't choose this. Her primal programming did. Deep in her unconscious, a machine runs silently, scanning for strength, scanning for value. It decides everything before your second sentence even finishes. This is not about being nice. This is not about being good-looking. This is not about being wealthy. This is about understanding the hidden currents that drive female psychology. The currents no one wants to talk about. Freud once said the mind has 3 parts: the one you see, the one you hide, and the one you don't even know exists. And that third part, that's where attraction lives. That's where the real decisions are made. Men think women choose with logic, that if they listen, if they care, if they show up, she'll choose them. But that's not how the game is played. You're playing checkers. She's playing chess. You don't even know the board exists. Nietzsche called it the will to power, the fundamental human urge to feel in control, to feel powerful, not over others, but over your own life. And that's what women sense instantly. She's not attracted to a man who gives away power. She's drawn to the one who owns it quietly, fully, and unapologetically. You've been lied to. Be nice, they told you. Just be yourself, they said. But they forgot to mention that yourself was a version sculpted by people who never understood the rules of attraction. You meet a woman, and nerves kick in. You try to mask them with a smile. You agree with her opinions. You laugh at jokes you don't find funny. You think you're being smooth, charming, harmless. But her subconscious isn't buying it. It's asking questions. Can he protect himself? Does he collapse under pressure? Does he want me, or does he need me? And every false smile, every mindless agreement, every moment you try too hard answers the same way. No. We lie most to ourselves. We pretend to be what we think they want, and they smell the lie. It seeps out in your tone, your movements, the energy behind your eyes. Confidence cannot be faked. Strength cannot be performed. The shadow will always reveal the truth. Here's the first law of dark psychology. Women don't crave attention. They crave selective attention. Scarcity creates value. If your attention is available to everyone, it's worthless. But if it's rare, if it's earned, it becomes gold. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He said being loved is nice, but being respected is better. Respect, he knew, can create desire even in the absence of love. Love without respect burns out, but respect without love can grow into something much more dangerous. Think about it. The people who are always available, always agreeable, always there, they become invisible. You stop noticing them. But the ones who are mysterious, who disappear sometimes, who have their own lives, they stay on your mind. This is the paradox. The more you chase her, the more she pulls away. The more you pull away, the more she leans in. Freud explained this through the pleasure principle. We are wired to pursue what pulls away and ignore what comes too easily. Even animals understand this. Chase a cat and it runs. Sit still and the cat comes closer. Women are the same, not because they play games, but because their minds are tuned for survival, and survival means choosing a man who is complete on his own. Most men get this backwards. They show their entire hand on day one. They say, "I want you. I need you. Please choose me." And in that moment, the mystery dies. The challenge dies. And without challenge, attraction can't breathe. Every woman runs 3 tests, not consciously, not by design, but through her unconscious filter. And almost every man fails all 3 without even knowing the tests exist. The first is the boundary test. She shows up late. She cancels last minute. She throws a disguised insult, masks it as a joke, and she watches. Do you accept it? Do you laugh it off? Do you pretend it's okay? Most men do, and they fail. Machiavelli wrote, "It's better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." In modern life, this means boundaries matter more than niceness. A woman cannot feel safe with a man who has no spine. If you can't protect yourself, how will you protect her? The second is the status test. She watches how others treat you. How do waiters speak to you? Do your friends listen when you talk? Do you command presence when you enter the room, or do you shrink? Because Freud understood tribal psychology. Women choose based on social perception. You may think she likes you, but if the tribe doesn't, her instincts will override her feelings. The third is the neediness test. She'll pull back to see if you chase. She'll go quiet to see if you panic. She'll mention another man to see if you react. And she's hoping to see nothing. No panic, no jealousy, no validation seeking. Just calm. Because the strongest word in attraction is no. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you lose value. Yes without the option of no is not a gift. It's desperation. Pity is the weapon of the weak. When you accept bad behavior because you fear being alone, you're not being kind. You're being scared. Attraction cannot survive in weakness. Not physical weakness, but emotional weakness, weakness of character. Picture this. She texts you at midnight. She's bored. Maybe she just got done texting someone else. You respond instantly. You perform. You try to impress. You fail. Because now she knows you have nothing better to do. But the man with options doesn't respond. Not out of spite, but because he's busy building. And when he does reply the next morning, he offers no apology, no excuse, just calm presence. And her mind lights up. He didn't jump. He has value. Here's a psychological technique: emotional mirroring. She sends one message, you send one. She takes hours to respond. So do you. She's low effort, you match it. She's invested, you meet her there. Freud believed the unconscious keeps score, and when you give more than you receive, your perceived value drops. Strategic withdrawal, Machiavelli's favorite tactic, creates imbalance, and imbalance creates curiosity. When she senses you're not reacting like other men, when you don't chase, when you don't collapse, she leans forward. She wants to understand you. She wants to earn you. Every conversation is a battle for emotional frame. Who sets the tone? Who leads? Most men step into her frame. She makes a sarcastic comment. They validate. She changes the plans. They accept. She creates tension. They fix it. They surrender the frame instantly. But women don't sleep with men who surrender the frame. They're drawn to men who own their reality. A woman complains about her coffee. You don't fix it. You smile. You tease. Tragic. I'll alert the media. You don't enter her storm. You stay grounded. And now she has a choice. Escalate or laugh. And when she laughs, she's in your frame. And now, she's attracted. Scarcity creates value. Abundance destroys it. Economics and psychology agree. When something is always there, the mind stops wanting it. And that's the problem. You've made yourself too available. You text her every hour. You adjust your schedule for hers. You sacrifice your time, your mission, your power. And she stops seeing you as gold. She sees you as air, everywhere, essential but invisible. You don't become gold by pretending. You become gold by living a life that matters, by investing your libido, your energy, not just into her, but into your mission, your craft, your growth. And when she sees that, she becomes magnetized, not because you're playing a role, but because you are someone of value, someone who does not beg to be chosen. A woman feels most drawn not to comfort, but to polarity, the tension between chaos and control. The man who offers both safety and danger, predictability and unpredictability. This is the rare alchemy that turns interest into obsession. In conversation, most men play it too safe. They agree too much. They try to be liked. They fill silence with words. But a woman doesn't crave polite harmony. She craves energy, tension, contrast. The bold man disagrees playfully. The confident man allows silence. The self-assured man challenges her assumptions. And suddenly, her pulse quickens. Suddenly, you're not like every other man. Freud uncovered something deeply uncomfortable: the Madonna whore complex. Men categorize women as either respectable or desirable, but rarely both. Women do the same in reverse. They see some men as safe but boring, and others as exciting but unreliable. Your goal is to collapse that binary. Be both. Be the man she respects and the one she desires. That means strong boundaries like the man she trusts, and unpredictability like the man who keeps her awake at night. This duality is rare. That's why it works. Most men choose one. They either become the dependable friend who never gets the kiss, or the wild thrill who never gets loyalty. But when you balance both, you become unforgettable. Let's go deeper. Research shows women are unconsciously drawn to men who express traits from the dark triad: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Before you panic, understand what that really means. It doesn't mean becoming a villain. It means understanding why these traits trigger attraction and using the healthy versions. Narcissism, at its core, is self-prioritization. It says, my needs matter, my time matters, I am the prize. Not arrogance, self-worth. You don't chase, you don't beg, you know your value. That is magnetic. Machiavellianism signals strategy. The man who doesn't reveal all his cards, the man who thinks before speaking, the man who holds mystery. He's not impulsive, he plans, he waits, and waiting builds tension. Psychopathy, when filtered properly, signals fearlessness. The man who stays calm under pressure. The man who doesn't fold when things get messy. He doesn't react emotionally. He holds his frame. He maintains agents when others would babble. That control over self, that emotional steadiness, it radiates power. Power, not noise. Calm, not chaos. Women feel it. They follow it. But most men? They fear losing a woman more than they fear losing themselves. And in that fear, they surrender everything. Their standards, their priorities, their purpose. They give commitment too early. They beg for labels. They ask, what are we? And in doing so, they transfer all the power to her. Attraction dies the moment you fear losing her more than she fears losing you. The dark psychology strategy is this. You do not chase commitment. You allow her to want it. You do not force the question. You become so full, so driven, so valuable that exclusivity becomes something she pursues, not because you demand it, but because she fears losing you. This fear is not cruelty. It's reality. She must know you are a man with options, a man with standards, A man who doesn't lock himself down for beauty alone. She must prove value beyond looks, beyond momentary chemistry. And if she doesn't, you walk. No drama, no explanation, just absence. Machiavelli said, "When you see the pattern, you cut it. If you notice disrespect, chaos, manipulation, you don't rationalize, you don't save her, you save yourself." Some women are chaos wrapped in beauty. Some relationships are mutual destruction in disguise, and no amount of love will fix that. No amount of patience will rewrite a script that was set in trauma. The strongest move is to leave early, not stay too long. Freud warned of repetition compulsion, the tendency to repeat childhood pain in adult relationships, hoping, unconsciously, to fix it. A woman whose father was distant will crave men who abandon her, not because she wants pain, but because the wound is familiar. Men do it too, chasing emotionally unavailable women, because their boyhood love was conditional. Recognizing this pattern is the first step to breaking it. You don't repeat, you rewrite. You choose differently. You raise your standards. And when your standards rise, so does your energy. So does your attraction. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. You have a great interaction. You connect, you flirt. She's into it. Most men smother it. They text non-stop. They overstay. They try to extend the moment. But desire isn't built in presence. It's built in absence. You end the conversation while it's still good. You walk away before it dies. You leave her mind activated, replaying every word, wondering when she'll hear from you again. That gap is the birthplace of obsession. Strategic withdrawal, that's what Machiavelli would call it. After connection is established, you disappear. Not as punishment, not to play games, but because you have a life. And when you return, you don't explain the silence. You simply continue. Calm, confident, certain. Grabbing dinner Thursday. Join me if you're free. That's it. No neediness, no desperation, just direction. And while you were gone, she wondered. She asked her friends. She checked her phone. Her desire grew, not because you manipulated it, but because space gives birth to longing. Let's talk texting. Most men destroy attraction with their thumbs. She sends a one-line message, and they reply with paragraphs. She texts, "I miss you," and they melt into puddles. But powerful men match investment. She sends one message, you respond with one. She sends you a long paragraph, you respond with a short sentence, not to be rude, but to maintain balance. Her mind does the rest. It fills the silence with curiosity. Why is he so calm? Does he like me? Did I say something wrong? That mental activity builds emotional heat. You must understand this. The mind craves what it can't predict. Certainty is safe, but uncertainty is seductive. When she says, "I miss you," you don't hand her the emotional prize. You respond with ambiguity. "You should," or "Then come here." You flip the frame. She expected to receive. Now she's giving more. That imbalance builds pull. And silence is your greatest ally. Most men fear it. They rush to fill it. They text twice when ignored. They speak too soon. But silence is evaluation. When you can hold it, you radiate control. In person, it's the same. She says something. You wait. 3 seconds. 5 seconds. You look at her. You smile. And you say nothing. That pause, that moment, it says everything. It says, I don't need to perform. I don't need to react. I choose my responses. It forces her into your frame. She's no longer leading. You are. And in that shift, attraction is born. Here's the truth. She expects you to chase. She expects you to validate. She expects you to collapse into the script every man follows. And the moment you don't, she notices. That break from the expected creates magnetic tension. And in that tension, her unconscious becomes intrigued. This is not about playing games. This is about rewriting the power dynamic through self-mastery, through restraint, through presence. Freud said the ego is not master in its own house, but it can be trained, it can evolve, it can become the master. That's what you're doing here. You are not becoming manipulative. You are becoming deliberate, strategic. You are becoming the man who leads, not the man who follows. And every woman senses the difference. One triggers respect, the other triggers boredom. One makes her question her own worth, the other makes her question why she gave you her time in the first place. This is about alignment. You are not performing. You are not pretending. You are becoming. And as you become, as you embody presence and silence and frame, the game changes. She adjusts to you. She matches your rhythm. And in doing so, you reclaim the part of you that was stolen by bad advice and weak programming, the part that was never meant to be soft, agreeable, always available. You reclaim your shadow, and that shadow is where your power has been hiding all along. The shadow. It's not your enemy. It's not something to suppress or fear. It is the seat of your raw, unfiltered masculinity. It is your edge, your drive, your instincts, your unapologetic truth. For too long, men have been taught to bury this part of themselves. They were told to be polite, to be soft, to never intimidate, to apologize for existing with intensity. And so the shadow leaked out in ugly ways, through passive aggression, through resentment, through silent frustration. But Freud made it clear, what we suppress doesn't die. It waits. It waits in the unconscious, and when triggered, it takes control. Integration is the only path forward. You don't destroy the shadow. You give it a role. You let it power your boundaries. You let it drive your mission. You use it to protect your energy and to say no without guilt. This is where real self-respect is born, not in being endlessly agreeable, but in having lines you won't cross for anyone, especially not for a woman who hasn't earned your sacrifice. This is where attraction becomes sustainable. Not in performance, not in perfection, but in authenticity, complexity, and emotional sovereignty. Women can sense it immediately. They know when a man is wearing a mask, when he's smiling too much, when he's too eager to please, when he's afraid of disagreement. That man is safe, but he's not compelling. He's polite, but not powerful. And the truth is, women don't want perfect. They want real. They want a man who feels like a force of nature, not a human doormat. A man who can protect himself. A man who can say, I choose you, not please choose me. Here's the key. You must stop viewing rejection as a loss. Rejection is filtration. Every time a woman walks away because you held your frame, you enforced your boundary, or you refused to perform, you win. You win because she showed you her values. You win because you stayed aligned with yours. And when you stack those wins, you begin to attract differently. Not through quantity, but through energy. You attract women who are drawn to your strength, not intimidated by it. And strength, true strength, is quiet. It's not loud. It's not performative. It's calm. It's stillness under pressure. It's knowing who you are and living by it, even when that means walking away. Most men can't do this. Most men are slaves to outcome. They chase validation like a drug. They text back instantly because they fear being forgotten. They agree with everything because they fear disagreement means disconnection. But the man who lives with outcome independence is rare. He's the man who understands that his self-worth is not tied to her response. It's tied to his alignment. You must become that man. And the only way to do that is to stop needing her to feel good about yourself. Focus on your mission. Focus on your craft. Focus on becoming undeniably valuable. Build your body, your mind, your circle. Develop skills that give you options. When you have options, you stop chasing. When you stop chasing, your value rises. It's not magic, it's psychology. Freud explained that belief shapes behavior, and behavior shapes outcome. If you believe you are the prize, your actions will reflect it, and women will feel it. The moment you make her the center of your universe, you lose gravitational pull. You start orbiting around her. She feels it. She may not say it, but she knows you are no longer centered in yourself. That's when attraction fades. Because women don't fall in love with you, they fall in love with how they feel about themselves when they're around you. And if being with you makes her feel like she's being chased, like she's above you, like she's being put on a pedestal, it doesn't feel good. It feels like pressure. It feels like imbalance. It feels off. But if being with you makes her feel beautiful, desired, challenged, alive, she will crave you. Not because you're perfect, but because you create an emotional experience that elevates her. That's why the wealthy man gets left for the struggling artist. That's why the polite guy gets ghosted for the chaotic wild card. It's not about logic. It's about energy. Women don't want a resume. They want a rhythm, a pulse, a man whose presence is memorable, whose absence is felt. And sometimes that means walking away from women who trigger chaos. Some women are the abyss. They are not seeking love. They are seeking destruction. They bring drama. They test with cruelty. They pull you in, then punish you for coming too close. If you don't see the pattern, you'll stay. You'll try to fix. You'll try to heal her. And in the process, she'll burn everything you built. You must have the strength to say no, not out of anger, out of wisdom. Some battles are not meant to be fought. Some hearts are not yours to carry. Machiavelli would call this strategic retreat. You do not try to reform chaos. You exit. You preserve yourself. That is the highest form of masculine energy, not dominance, but discernment. Choosing where you place your time, your focus, your soul. And if a woman cannot meet you there, you don't try to pull her up. You let her go, because the woman who is meant for you does not require you to abandon yourself to love her. She inspires you to become more of who you already are. She recognizes your value because she values herself. And that synergy, that's where long-term attraction is born, not in blind devotion, but in mutual respect, in energy that flows both ways, in space, tension, polarity, and deep alignment. This is what most men never learn. They confuse approval with affection. They confuse comfort with connection. They confuse validation with value. And in doing so, they drain their own energy. They forget themselves. They become what she wants, then wonder why she stops wanting them. The truth is brutal. When you give up your essence to gain a woman's attention, you lose both. You lose your edge, and you lose her. So here's your challenge. Kill the old version of yourself, the desperate man, the overly available man, the man who waits for a text to feel valuable. Let him die. Let the man who replaces him be built from self-respect, silence, mystery, presence, power. Let him live by standards. Let him choose, not chase. Let him walk away from anything that threatens his peace. And let that energy radiate, not just in dating, but in everything. In your work, in your speech, in your relationships. The man who is whole within himself is magnetic. And it's not because of what he says, it's because of how he carries himself. His words are few. His movements are calm. His attention is rare. His presence is a reward. And when he chooses a woman, it means something. Because he doesn't need her. He wants her. And that difference changes everything. You must maintain the energy that attracted her in the first place. Don't become lazy. Don't become soft. Don't become predictable. Stay grounded in your mission. Stay curious about the world. Stay rooted in your masculine energy. Keep the polarity alive, not with manipulation, but with mastery. This is not a performance. It is a state of being. Women will test you. They will push. They will challenge. Not to destroy you, but to feel your strength. Not to break you, but to see if you bend. And every time you hold your frame, you signal something deeper. I know who I am, and I do not fear loss, because I am not empty without you. I am full with or without you. This is the core of attraction. This is the shadow mind. You are not here to perform for women. You are here to become the man who cannot be ignored. And when you become him, the world bends to meet your presence. Now you know the truth. What you do with it is up to you.